26th August Commander's Call, and some general announcements, if you will, as well as 90 days in command. So hey, this message is like, how goes it one? Want to know like where we're at. So if you've been a mission commander in a mission planning cell, you know, how it goes at one is like you still have some spots to make some corrections prior to the giggle. So we'll talk about that here in a minute. Hey, welcome back to the Panther One YouTube channel. All right, if you're tuning in from YouTube back there, welcome. It's been a minute since we've got online to post some content. Don't forget to smash that like button. Further content from the mighty Black Panthers. So, welcome back. All right. We got this little guy. Here's some things we're going to talk about. We're going to spread the cheer. We're going to go over our mission objectives. We're going to talk about a little calendar and some squadron updates and news. And come on up. Happy birthday. And like, you can't have a commander's call without singing happy birthday. If you want a pleasing baritone, I'm happy to go solo. But I think the Panthers will give you a happy birthday song. So, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Claire. Happy birthday to you. Oh, yeah.
Thank you guys, it was beautiful.
If you don't know, she can play a wicked fiddle. So next time, we'll do it on the fiddle. And Amber Brightful, please come on up. Yeah, Rod, we got a strike for you. I think you got a few special guests to help you pin this on. So, A1C now, Brightful, 4 September 2022. Yeah. Video smile. Wait a second.
Here, Michael. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah! Congrats. Coach Steve Liesel, welcome.
Everyone else should be sweaty too.
We're sweaty. All right, before we get on to this, hey, if you did a thing today without patches on, stand up.
Oh, what's up?
Hey, we got 3 brand new certified air crews. They're certified to do a pretty special mission. So add them to the team. Round of applause. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah, sisters. Today was awesome. I think the Panthers put out a world-class, absolute tactical and lethal brief and execution. You guys demo pro why we wear crimson. Because you're ready to be that Crimson Cape Spartan up there, joining that airborne armada to deliver some hate to the enemy, right?
Big hate.
So, big hate. And how are we doing? All right, mission is up here. We're going out there to provide support to the combat member. You guys know that my priority right now is surety. We have gone to 3148. We had 3 minor discrepancies come off of that 3148. I won't brief them here, they're classified, but Those are out there for action for us to be able to basically correct going into next week. Loki's got those, he's gonna address them before we go into the INSAV next week. I have full confidence that we're gonna go crush that together as a team. But we're providing this daily. Lethal ready, I think we're there, all right? I think we're continuing to maintain the standard. And this overall vision finance best was rather important, that's great, all right? But I'm gonna ask you for your help to help me ensure we stay there by tightening up our admin as a squadron. We've already addressed that in your committee, especially when it comes to the aircraft flying side of the business. All right, so we're gonna do that here together. Objectives. I laid these out at the beginning. I wanted you all to see that I inverted them from what they originally were. I believe in forging the human weapon system first. I believe in taking care of the humans first, that take care of the mission. And if I do that, if we do that together, you guys know what the mission is, I already briefed you on it, you do that every day, all right? So evaluating how we're doing at How Goes It 1, 90 days into command, here at step 1, forge the human weapons system. You don't have to answer me right now, but ask yourselves how we're doing in that department, please. Provide lethal ready air power for the combatant command. Went out this week, I got to go fly in the point blank exercise and do some pretty incredible large force employment with our NATO allies and our F-35 brothers and sisters. We got to bring the heat, and it was pretty impressive to see our capabilities circa 2022. And if you haven't seen it, there's a super dope picture out there of like 6 Panthers walking out to the flight line. I showed it to Lindsay and she really liked it. Build a feature. Guys, for this objective, I'm not gonna initially provide feedback to everyone, but to my immediate, those folks that I immediately supervise, so DO, ADOs, flight commanders, Standabel, going down the list and providing that feedback. If I set that example, my expectation is that my flight commanders and below are also setting that example of conducting those feedbacks to provide you with respect to building the future. I want you to understand what your trajectories are for your career so that you have options so that we can invest in that human capital and recycle back up to step 1. Command philosophy, if you recall, this was very simple. 4 tenets. Serve and empower great people to win big. That's on the philosophy letter. This is my philosophy. This is what I'm attempting to do here and now. In the first 90 days, I look back at that and I have debrief points for myself. And so I'm sure you guys do too. If you have that feedback, I'm interested in it, I want it. So please provide that. Let me catch up my slides. Okay, quickly. Squadron look ahead. Coming up, INSAV next week, 29th to the 1st. So we're gonna go out and execute our surety mission in front of some inspectors. We want the notes from that. We wanna know how we're doing. So I want them to dig deep and find the areas where we can improve. I wanna identify those now so that we take those lessons into the NSI and correct them for that. We have a family day on the 2nd. Tonight, we have First Friday, Jungle and Kate. It's gonna be dope. Looking forward to that. Thank you to Thud and Loka and the team for helping to set that up, Jungle and Kate. If you don't know, we'll get the parking plan out there. We'll make sure you understand where we're going for it, but it's gonna be a great night. The pool is gonna be open. I think it's gonna be a piano player, like wearing a sweet hat, and I'm gonna bring some cigars. So. Should be good. All right, Labor Day 2nd through the 5th. We're not opening the field for anything for that. That is a weekend off. That is a 4-day weekend that we should not disturb you at home. We're going to TLP then. Starting on the 9th, we're going to get out of here with the quantity of aircraft that we're taking, and then we're going to take the fleet and make sure that we get out there for 3 weeks and integrate with our NATO partners and rebuild step 1 and 2 of the mission objectives. We'll do another exercise in the middle of that will focus on our surety mission. If you have more words about that, see Deep, please. That was brief. Cool. Vertical inspection. You probably see that we're going to tighten up some of our procedures from the training shop. If you get emails that are like, hey, you need to clean up these admin items, do those right away, please, because this is going to be where that comes out. An inspection is just simply, how are we in compliance with the regulations that we're appointed to serve under. Some of those are things as simple as getting grade sheets in on time and signing them in the appropriate process. So that's what we're going to look at there. All right, Columbus Day on the 10th. Katie, did we get the sheet into everyone's hands?
Yes, sir.
You guys all have a copy of a piece of paper. All right, that is the authorized use safety family days for fiscal year 23. The spouses at home got that box short just right before we walked in here. So they should all have that and be disseminating that on the back side as well. So everybody's receiving the same information at the same time. What you're not going to see on there is 7 October is not like a no kidding use safety family day. I am expecting, and the wing, I think the group at least is planning on 7 October prior to Columbus Day here being a goal day for the wing. It gives us a 4-day weekend right there. So obviously we were planning a roll call naming at the American Air Museum at Duxford, which we're still gonna do. All right, maybe that was secret rel, Madam Mayor. I may have left that one out, all right? But that's in the works, we're planning it, all right? The 14th is like the target date for that now. If we get there, and I hope we do get there with all the approvals and that date off, we'll go out there and maybe do some names like on an SR-71 or equivalent awesome American airplane. So that'd be awesome. More to follow on that, and no promises, but that's the plan. That's what we're secretly scheming. If I could just like Men in Black flashy thing, everybody's like, oh, forget I just said American Indian. But that's the plan. Anyway, whatever. And then the thing right there, y'all know what that is. Going into Veterans Day, some additional family days, and then Thanksgiving holiday, and then off into December for the NSI. Everybody's tracking that plan and priority. And then hopefully for the holidays, remaining relatively untapped so that everyone can recover and gain some resiliency back with your families. That's the big picture calendar, okay? Quickly into a few squadron updates. Things that I want to talk about right now. I will tell you up front, flight commanders, I didn't work this with you ahead of time, and I didn't really coordinate this with you or even tell you I'm doing it. I received that debrief, and it's a fair debrief point. But I have decided to reorganize the key spouse organization in the Panthers. This is a commander's program. It is command-directed reorganization. That reorganization is going to involve a few name swaps and skinning down the organization's membership to a few key positions. So with that, Maura Harris is going to retain the lead key spouse role, kind of at my side, helping direct and manage the communications. Jackie is going to take over the DO role there for that spouse position as a leadership position in the squadron. I'm going to retain and ask for the continued volunteer support of Bridget Frey. Please stay as a key spouse mentor. You've recently just joined the team. She's going to help organize and overall make sure communication is flowing. Aaron Sanborn, Jenna Dubois, Chelsea Grams, and Jamie Erickson are going to join as key spouses in the Panthers. They will be the only additional key spouses effective 1 September. The idea behind this reorganization is to make sure that the Panthers have their key spouse as well as the active duty spouse actively in the Panthers, wearing red patches and working in the squadron. So everybody that is a key spouse is also their spouse, their key spouses can talk about current things happening. With that, unfortunately, we're going to lose Marianne Becker. Marianne, you've been an absolutely incredible key spouse for the Panthers. You've served for 18 months in that role, and last January you were the Ops Group Key Spouse of the Year for 2022. It's amazing. very thankful for your service. I thank you for everything that you've done serving the Panthers. I hope you see this, and I'm not just awkwardly talking to the camera, but I'm really thankful for what you've done. And so, additionally, Diana Anderson. She's going to come off the key spouse list. Diana, thank you for what you've done for the Panthers and serving and taking care of our families. Those roles on the side are extremely important. There's so much that happens in the background, and I can appreciate that as a first assignment, a single human, you may not see that, but there's so many things that those spouses do, and I'm very thankful for it. So we'll assign those flights and make sure those are all communicated out, but those are the key spouses in the Panthers effective 1 September. Changes to squadron communication. All right, here's the biggest thing, like the reason I wanted to have a commander's call today. Get up for it. Mattermost came out maybe 18 months ago, a year ago, around that time. Since then, I've witnessed a level of mission creep into the personal lives of our active duty that I've never seen in 16 years of being a fighter air crew. I don't like that I can reach into your OODA loop, and I use a little bit of Boyd here, thinking about the OODA loop, but in a personal cycle. So like when you're at home recovering, it takes a little bit, at least for me, to like get into the I'm home now and I'm a dad mode, or I'm a husband mode, or I'm a just normal civilian mode. I have to decompress. I drive in a car to get to my house if I live, in Cambridge or wherever that is. Then I'm sort of like in the zone for that next phase of my life. And then I'll spend whatever time that is recovering my mental health and resilience with my family and my friends and my activities in the way that I do, and all of you do. When you get a message that you don't expect, I think that subconsciously, even if you don't try to acknowledge that, that's going to break into your mental cycle, and it's going to begin trying to make you think about work when you don't intend to be. I have serious concerns about that. Mattermost has become nipper in your pocket. Everybody knows I got a Bob phone, right? The Air Force pays for that. Bob phone, it's true, and it's right there helping out with the like and subscribe Panther YouTube channel. But I don't want everybody to have that. That level of communication is not required for the majority of the squadron. There is an urgent situation. I have a method to communicate that. This is a long intro, brother. If it's an emergency, I will come knock on your door if required. I will find you, right? You are in the military, and like as an active duty person, you're subject to duty. But like 99% of the time, that's not the case. All right. So to kill this plan, big picture, we're going to kill Mattermost. We're going to horizon abort for Mattermost completely, and we're going to come up with a new plan to present that, brother. Hijack, please.
Yeah, hijack completed 2024.
Patriots.
I'm up for you. Panthers going to war.
Yeah!
But first, more quick.
Thank you, sir, for the setup. He stated the problem really well, as you would expect. So the way we're going to solve that problem today is twofold. Mattermost is gone, thank God. However, we as a leadership team felt that we still need a way to communicate easily amongst the squadron. So we are going to transition back, if you will, to Slack. The benefits of that are the following. Significantly better do not disturb options is the highlight there, setting that up in such a way that we are not getting those disturbances outside of work unless it is absolutely critical that that happens. That being the first problem, more easily solved. The second problem is the one that Colonel Booty spoke to very well, and the way we're going to solve that is via a refocusing of the squadron overall, specifically on focusing on the in-work communication. So, if you hear nothing else from what I'm about to say, please hear this. All desired, necessary work communication should, to the max extent, occur while you are in uniform at work. We're going to prioritize face-to-face, DSN, Outlook as the priority to the maximum extent possible for all communication. That includes instructor coordination for upgrades. That includes flight coordination the day prior. That includes anything and everything as much as we can in work so that we can have that separation after we go home. In addition to that, the leadership team expects a number of things of you while you are at work on duty. In addition to those things, aircrew specifically will abide by the 3-3 standards for rally times and duties to the maximum extent practical. If you are deviating from that, I expect you to have a very good reason to deviate. Else, the 3-3 has that for you, attachment 5, page 1 and 2. All flight members will also now be expected to find and check in with their flight lead the day prior to their flight. This is an in-person check-in as the primary, again, backed up by DSN, utilizing the top 3 for coordination as required, with the highlight that upgradees are required, written in bold, to check in with their instructor the day prior. That hasn't changed, so please continue to do that in person now, is the biggest change there. Additional expectations while on duty are that everybody will check their NIPA computers at least once a day before you go home. In order to facilitate that, we have recently allotted additional funding to purchase more NIPA computers for the squadron, so those should be on the way here shortly, allowing more access to that and enabling that to happen. NIPR, Outlook specifically, will be, once more, the primary method to communicate for mass communication as well for the squadron. So any shop guidance, overall aircrew guidance, overall squadron guidance should come out via NIPR, vice a post in Slack, which we'll be moving to. That was on-duty expectations. Off-duty, your expectations will be available via your phone, specifically SMS and phone call for those time-critical things that might come up while you're at home. Again, that should be minimal, given that we're prioritizing in-work communication. We will have limited channels allowed within Slack, and one of those channels will be schedule, as you'd imagine. Off-duty, I expect everybody in this room to check schedule, hashtag schedule, or the channel schedule, the schedule channel, or schedule train at least once before you go to bed that night to look for any changes. Bullet number 3 is there's going to be a new channel called flight coordination, or flight cord, in which any coordination that is not able to occur at work will be all in one place, so that if you are expected to fly or execute an event the next day, you will check that channel once before you go to bed, and if there are anything, deviations outside of 3-3, they will be posted in one place, relieving flight leads from having to build groups for every flight or event from there. Again, however, that is an aberration. You should be in accordance with 3-3 99% of the time. Posts in flight cord are only for changes for a good reason. The biggest change while off-duty is that off-duty check-ins will no longer be required. If you are at work the day before, you will check in person or over the phone. If you are on leave, you are not required to check in. Check the schedule, check flight cord, and that should be it. If you see nothing in flight cord, assume 3-3 standard duties and rally times there. As far as the SOP for Slack itself, you can expect, we expect as a leadership team, everybody to set up their do not disturb options, however you see fit, to ensure that your personal life, your work and personal life separation is maintained to the max extent, with the following exceptions. Thou shalt allow notifications off duty if user at channel or at all is used in any channel. That will be used in accordance with the PACE plan to ensure that time critical information is passed to those that need it. Think schedule changes or overnight taskings, etc. Those will come out via a PACE plan, but please allow those at notifications. Any use of that at needs to be clearly time sensitive, and that will be enforced via the flight commanders and the leadership chain strictly. The only channels that will live in Slack as we move forward will be schedule, aircrew, all, flight cord, an instructor channel, and the flight channels as desired. The only people approved to post in those will be very strictly limited to those required, essentially schedulers for scheduling, flight commanders for the flight channels, and then essentially squadron leadership and top threes in the schedule or aircrew chats. That will be enforced as well by the flight commanders and the rest of the leadership team. If there are things off duty, that need to be posted in those channels, please coordinate through your flight commander or your leadership chain in order to execute those posts. I have a pace plan doped out for everybody. Sorry, I don't have a product for the screen, but you can expect this to be in your Outlook email shortly after this brief. Big picture, guys, we're trying to make your lives better. As Colonel Voodoo said really well, we're trying to get everything done at work so we can go home, get some better work-life balance, and check out at the end of the day in order to improve overall quality of life, if you will. There's going to be some growing pains, and the big picture thing I want to say is that we're not starting this today, so don't stress. This is going to start once we get back from TLP. Expect October 1st. Does that still work for you, sir?
Yes.
Great. So once we get back from TLP, you can expect that's when we're going to transition here. While I am missing out on the fun in Spain, I will be setting up the Slack, so it's good to go on day one here. So for TLP and in the next few weeks leading up, operate as normal and expect once we get back, we're getting back into that standard flow, we will transition to this new code. Sir, Diesel, any additions? Anything I missed?
I'll slack it over for TDYs.
So for TDYs, you can expect that will follow how we use Mattermost currently. So we'll expect additional channels for those TDYs, especially with the international travel that will expedite our communication while abroad. Thank you, good cleanup. Anything else?
No additions.
Any questions on how this is gonna work? Hap?
Been a while. Does the 3-3 account for the 65-minute late lead step?
I'm not sure off the top of my head. Sorry, 3-3 states rally times only. For air-to-air, it is 3 hours prior. For air-to-ground, 4 hours prior. So flight leads, I'm not expecting you to start your brief 3 hours prior. What we will expect is for aircrew to be in the building at that expected rally time with messages passed either via top 3 or in person the day before to coordinate a specific brief time. But you shall show up no later than your 3-3 standard show time. Good question, thank you. Anything else? Yeah, Tony.
I asked TUIs, other slides, have you used Signal? Is that something that we would be using?
So Signal was considered, but due to the benefits of Slack and our familiarity with it, we've elected to stick with Slack. Our objective, once we have made the transition, is to bring everybody else along with us, hopefully, to allow that to happen and facilitate that inter-squadron coordination. Good questions. Anything else? Hap again.
Sorry, I'm being fun. So the Mattermost obviously is still the 48 Firewing standard that the 48 Firewing does not apply to. But my worry is, are we going to have, I've got one rule, one app on my phone that the government gets. Am I going to have to violate that rule?
You should not. Mattermost is divested as of second quarter next year anyway. So you can expect, as far as I'm tracking at least, you can expect the wing standard will probably change or be removed entirely. So
I'll address that right now. I'm not worried about that, all right? The way we communicate is up to me, all right? So once we, as a squadron, egress from Mattermost is done. We're not on it, you're not on it. I understand your one app rule, respect that. This is why, partially why I had that in mind when we came up with this plan. There's no, even to this day, the wing cannot tell you thou shalt download app onto your personal phone. So we're gonna do that, and I may receive feedback on that, but that's where we're gonna go. Have a shot?
Shut.
Brother, thank you for that.
thank you.
More questions to the flight commanders, please. This sounds a little bit like egressing Mattermost to go to something skinnier. If I kill it completely, you all in your younger generation will develop a comm plan, and it will develop naturally, organically, out of your desire to communicate in the current way that you all think of communication. So it's just trying to focus a little bit of that to get us onto something as a standard, and then absolutely minimize the amount of communications that you receive. So part of that is also Hijack and the flight commander team, the leadership team here, requesting that you reshape the way you're thinking about communication on a daily basis. If you're about to send a message to someone, please, I need you to ask yourself, is this gonna break into their OODA loop? What time am I sending this message? Do I have to send it right now? Or can I take a note and send it tomorrow like at a normal time? That's super important for the next two things we're gonna talk about, all right? That's a great segue. Nice job, Luke. Deox, all right? How goes it one? Part of that is a self-assessment program. Part of that is understanding real, honest, anonymous feedback. Deox is going to be a part of that, okay? I'm 90 days in. We have to have a Deox complete as a squadron, submitted to the EO office on this base within 120 days after I have taken command. So in the next 30 days, we're going to be communicating out a Deox. It's going to be a very limited duration. So I'm not going to do like a 3-week Deox and like keep sending out reminders to go hit the Deox. We're going to do a 1-week Deox. You're going to have the opportunity to log in during that week, provide your feedback. We're going to then close that Deox. We're going to receive the feedback. And then within 30 days after that, I'm going to provide that feedback to you and let you know the instructional fixes we're going to implement to fix any of the deficiencies that we found. So that is for that. 100% honest. I want to know every little nitty-gritty detail because I can't get better and we can't get better unless you tell me, hey, your brief was 29 seconds over. Like, I want to know that. That 29 seconds is important to me. Right? So Deox. That will be coming from Jordan, and the front office team will be seeing those over Outlook email, please. Suicide awareness training. This is the last commander's topic I want to hit. This is a mandatory topic. We have to cover this. And I don't want to do it in a way that is just like, here's one slide, and that is that. This is a really important topic to me. Because of how much I'm trying to help focus on mental health, resiliency, building the human weapon system, I'm hoping that the foundations of our squadron, the way we conduct ourselves, lend to an environment that doesn't produce an effect of this level of mental health. If at any time it does. My door is always open as a human being first. I get that option, human being first. But the way we're going to address the actual training, before we leave for TLP, flight commanders, meaningful eye contact here, all right? I need you to self-schedule an hour with your flight to sit down and just have a dialogue about suicide awareness. I have lost friends in my life from suicide, and there's signs and symptoms out there that you can tell, and there's some training that we have to help you recognize those things if by grace you've never had to go through one of those losses in your life. And I hope that you never do. But it's something that will stay with you. And this brotherhood and sisterhood, this team, this is how we look out for each other. So flight commanders, execute this COA, report back to me when you are complete with 100% across your squad, across your flight. I want to know that you've spent that hour just talking about it. We have some grit slides from July that can help you frame the discussion, to just help you get through it, and Sergeant Bashoner can send those out to you. So please do diligence with this. It's very important to me, and I want to make sure we talk to everybody about it, all right? Okay, this is it for the formal portion that I've got. Shirt, what do you got?
Come all the way down to be on TV. How's it going, everyone? So, I'm the first shirt, Sergeant Z. I'm the new Jenkins. He's a lot taller, bigger belly. He gave up and he retired, right? So he's at. He'll see it on TV. He'll call me later. All right. So, new Jenkins. What I do like to hear, real quick, because I don't want to be between anyone and Cleaning Friday, is going to be just everyone have my phone number, right? That works. Slack is going to be something I'm on. I would say the One Rule app guy. I've got like 7 of them on my phone of Slack, Facebook, whatever digital media you want to be. Because just like anyone else, going TDY and using Wi-Fi to communicate back and forth is the way forward. This cell phone stuff, like the old school way, doesn't really work. So just anything on there. I know I'm telling Panthers that it says Eagles shirt, so you probably already hate that. But on Slack, if you do Eagles shirts, or Facebook, all the other ones. There's Signal on there, which is what the wing was trying to do. But not Mattermost, because I couldn't crack the code to get in there. So, other than that, I would just say the big thing I want to make sure kind of get out, went out in an email, is utilities is going to double to like $700 and something. But pocket that away, because if you watch any TV, like the British economy is kind of going to the shit. So save it, don't spend it all at the bar, because in October it's getting expensive. So anyone who has oil heat, start looking at buying oil heat now. When October hits, they're going to jack the prices up. Right? Wintertime prices go up naturally anyways, but they're going to be on other things. So I'm just putting a face to a name and sending out the emails, but I'm totally on board with the commander and separating that work-life balance, right? Even as a shirt, that's all they harp to us for 30 days at school, is you got to be able to shut down, shut off, and not have your stupid phone going off all the time with crap that you don't care about. So definitely do that, and I've got your all back, and commander's back to disregard the dumb messages that come in on a Saturday when you're trying to hang out and barbecue. So with that, yeah, work-life balance as a shirt, that's my total job, is take care of you. So if there's anything going on at NPF, anything on the base that I can help knock down a barrier for, so that you can be 100% in the game on focusing on mission, that's my job, right? That's AFI, right at the top. Take care of you all behind the scenes so that you're 100% in the game. So just hit me up. You can text me. I'm cool. You just say, hey, shirt, down the NPF, trying to sort this out. Let me help you out. That's my job. Cool. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, Shirt. I appreciate your time today. Last around the room here, Diesel, Coach, Liesel, any words? Spawn? Nothing?
Come and see us. We're here for you. We're here to help you. You don't need to be in pain. Just come and see us. You know how to find us, do you?
Everybody's aware of what they're doing for us. All right.
It's air conditioned over there, so if
Yeah.
you get too hot, upstairs, there's air conditioning next door.
Thank you, Coach. All right. Around the room, I'm ready to answer questions in front of the TV. If anybody has any questions or spears, chuck them. I'll give you like 3 seconds.
I do have one thing, sir.
Yeah.
If you know that you're a person for the IG, I have sent you an email, lucky you. If you could please get me your deliverables by the 30th, because I have to upload them all onto the SharePoint. If you do not have deliverables, there are AFI references on what they're going to inspect you on. If you have any questions, though, definitely hit me up and let me know, since we're all leaving in a month. For a month? All right, cool. Thank you.
All right. Last announcements on First Friday, Thud.
On first Friday. I sent anonymous earlier and scheduled. Hey, one last anonymous. I sent it in Slack, but Hydra hasn't set it up yet. Yeah, so 16:30 is like start time. That's when Jungle and Kate are down with everyone showing up. So roll over there. The link for the Google Maps is on there. If you Google the crawl, K-R-A-L-L, it'll pop up, or it's actually called Woodpecker House, so don't call it the crawl or Jungle will get mad. I don't know why. But it's at the place, there's space for about 30-ish cars. Overflow outside of that is going to be parking on the very small street / in the ditch. Carpool max extent, and if you carpool, you can drink and have a little more fun anyways, so go for that. The pool is open and encouraged. There will be children there for the first couple hours, obviously, so take that into account, but Jungle is down with having us stay late into the night. There will be music, the piano early, and then speakers later. I'll be over there drilling out starting at like 4:30 as well, and then we'll just have a little bit of the official First Friday stuff, a little bit of going away, a little bit of awards, and that is all, other than the shipments are opening up. But I don't see which there is next week.
Thanks, Thud. Dismissed.
Do you work out?